ma'am. Good afternoon, classmates. Today I'm talking about William Shakespeare's one of the most famous sonnets, that is sonnet number 18, entitled Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day. So, let's proceed to the short biography of William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon, or simply the Bard. He was born on April 23, 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon, in England. At age 18, he married 26 years old and had a wife. He had 3 children. One died at age 11. Likely began writing plays in the mid-1580s. Shakespeare is widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's preeminent dramatist, and 37 plays written and several sonnets written. So, William Shakespeare died on April 23, 1616, his 52nd birthday. Next, the structure and rhyme scheme couplet. The first thing to note about the Shakespearean sonnet is that it is 14 lines divided into 3 quatrains, 3 series of 4 lines in a rhyming couplet, intended at the end. The sonnet carries a strict rhyme scheme throughout A, B, C, D, E, F, and then the rhyming couplet is G, G. The meter of a Shakespearean sonnet is iambic pentameter. It's the preferred meter of Shakespeare's work. So, if we scan the opening line, Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Shakespeare included a sort of logical organization to the content of the poem. So, the form and structure follows a rigid formula. The content tended to follow a similar system. The first 8 lines, or the first 2 quatrains, presents a question, a central dilemma, a central comparison, a proposal statement of some kind, and expounds on that on the 4-8 lines. At line 9 is what's called the third. Speaker turns from the question to the answer, or from the proposal to the suggestion, from the central statement to a complication or a response to, or an extension of the statement. In the final quatrain, notice in Sonnet 18. Next, the explanation line by line of the poem. First quatrain. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? This question is flattering in itself, as a summer's day is often associated with beauty. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Shakespeare, however, explains that his love's beauty exceeds that of the summer and does not have its tendency towards unpleasant extremes. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a day. It should be noted that at the time the sonnet was written, England had not yet adopted the Gregorian calendar, and May was considered a summer month. In the above quote, Shakespeare describes the fragility and short duration of summer's beauty. The use of the word least reminds us of the fact that everything beauty remains so for a limited time only, and after a while its beauty will be forcibly taken away. Second quatrain. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his cold completion dim. Shakespeare states that the sun, which he personifies and refers to as the eye of heaven, can be too hot or black from view by the clouds, unlike his more temperate love. And every fear from fearsome time declines by chance or nature's changing course and dream. The repetition of the word fear highlights the fact that his faith is inescapable for everything that possesses beauty. Third quatrain. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fear thou always, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines through time thou growest. Suddenly, though it was foreshadowed a bit in line 8, the tone and direction of the poem changes grammatically, moving on from bashing summer and the limitation inherent in nature. The speaker pronounces that the beloved he is speaking to isn't subject to all of these rules he's laid out. Shakespeare, however, states that his love will not lose their beauty to death or time, but will be preserved through his poetry. Let's proceed to the final couplet. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. As long as there are humans alive on this planet, your life and beauty will live on through this sonnet. Shakespeare's self-assured claim makes it possible to argue, but the purpose of the poem was not actually pay a beloved person a compliment, but rather to praise oneself for poetic skill. The summary of Sonnet 18. The speaker opens the poem with a question addressed to the beloved. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? The next 11 lines are devoted to such a comparison. In line 2, the speaker stimulates what mainly differentiates the young man from the summer's day. He is more lovely and more temperate. Summer's day, 10 parts extremes. They are shaken by rough winds. In them, the sun, the eye of heaven, often shines too hot or too dim. And summer is fleeting. Its day is too short, and it leads to the withering of autumn. As every fear from fearsome time declines, the final quatrain of the sonnet tells how the beloved differs from the summer in that respect. His beauty will last forever. Thy eternal summer shall not fade and never die. In the couplet, the speaker explains how the beloved's beauty will accomplish this feat and not perish because it is preserved in the poem. which will last forever. It will live as long as men can breathe or eyes can see. Then, let's proceed to the discussion questions. First question, does this poem reflect your personal views on love? Explain. Yes, the stability of love and its power to immortalize someone is the overarching of this poem. B. Do you think that a poem would make a good token of affection? Why or why not? When a person writes a poem about somebody else, then this is considered a sign of true affection. Like for example, in third quatrain, Shakespeare, however, states that his love will not lose their beauty to death or time, but will be preserved through his poetry. Number 2, who might the speaker of this poem be? The speaker in the poem is the poet. In your own opinion, who is the speaker addressing? Use details from this poem to support your answers. While summer must always come to an end, the speaker's love for the man is eternal, and the youth's eternal summer shall not fade. The young man to whom the poem is addressed is the muse for Shakespeare's first 126 sonnets. Next, what two things is the speaker comparing? In Sonnet 18, the poem actually begins with a question. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Of course, this poem isn't about summer, but it is about the comparison between the fair youth's enduring beauty and the fleeting beauty of nature. Next question. Which one does the speaker consider to be superior? How do you know this? Shakespeare has immortalized his friend's beauty through the lines of his poem. As long as men live, they will remember his friend through his verses. Therefore, this qualifies make the poet's much-loved friend superior to summer. According to the speaker, why will the subject of the poem have a summer that is eternal? The phrase eternal summer refers to the speaker's lover's beauty, rather than fading away like the beauty of summer does each year. His beauty will instead last for as long as the poem does. It will be eternal and will in a sense keep the lover from truly dying. Next question. What might this tell you about the poet's reason for writing the poem? The poet's purpose in writing a poem is to express his or her feelings and to encourage someone and to touch the feelings of a person reading it. Next question. In your own opinion, will the speaker love ever fade? Explain. No, the speaker love for the man is eternal, and the youth's eternal summer shall not fade. If the speaker's love fades, will the subject's beauty fade along with the speaker's love? Explain your reasoning. No, because if the speaker's love fades, it doesn't mean that the subject's beauty fades with the speaker's love. There are instances where the speaker has lost his love for the subject even though how much he or she loves him, as long as he is tired or the long wait is over his lover. But there are instances, if we relate it into a real situation, there are other people who base it on appearance. When the first time he or she saw the subject will be beloved because of their beauty, then time passes, he will just fade because their love or admiration is gone, but the beauty of a subject